Holding the wheel of the rider in front is a vital skill in cycling, and in this video we're going to share a few tips to help you master it.
Yeah, if you can sit right on the rider in front, right on their wheel, you're going to save a whole heap of energy, making your rides more enjoyable and easier. And who doesn't want that? Hit that thumbs up button if that's you, and let's get into it. Right, come on, Conor, on the wheel.
What's a thumbs up button, Hank? Thumbs up.
It's a skill you really want to get right, not only for your safety, but also the others around you.
Holding the wheel in front is essentially just that, getting your front wheel as close to the rear wheel of the rider in front as physically possible. The closer you get, the more you'll benefit from their draft.
That means the rider in front, yes, aka me, is doing all the work, and Conor, the rider behind, is saving a huge amount of energy, being sheltered by the wind and drafted along. You right there?
Ah, absolutely dandy. To begin with though, as you're mastering this skill, I'd really recommend giving yourself more space to the rider in front. This allows you more wiggle room to react to whatever the rider does ahead of you, if they slow down, change direction and so on, which really helps to keep things safe as you improve this skill.
Yeah, you really also want to avoid overlapping the wheel or touching the wheel, because that's how you cause a crash, and that's not what you want. So, safe distance is key. As the speed increases, the draft effect is going to get even greater, but make sure, build your confidence up before you go really close to the wheel in front. So make sure you've got a bit more space, and top tip, hang off the wheel slightly and move to the side of the rider to give yourself an extra bit of breathing space. But let me tell you, when you get good at this and you gain your confidence, you can save a huge amount of energy.
Personally, at very high speeds, I like to keep a finger to cover the brakes, just so that I can react to the rider in front quicker and be ready in any situation to adapt my own speed. You're not looking to grab the brakes, but just use it gently to adjust your speed. When you're holding the wheel at pace, you really need to be able to react to the rider in front and pay attention to cues from their body and not their bike. Are they looking to change direction? Are they riding harder or slower? Is there anything upcoming on the road that is going to cause them to change their speed? It's these things you need to look for to be able to maintain a safe distance to that front wheel. On smoother tarmac and asphalt, it is much easier to maintain that gap to the wheel in front, because you're having to deal with less variables as you're riding. And actually, even at really high speeds, 50 kilometers an hour and up, it almost feels like you're standing still, and you can fix with that wheel in front, almost like latching onto the back of a train. Far easier than those rough roads. There's something to keep in mind.
There are a few other key aspects to think about, and one of them is the terrain you're riding on. If you're riding on smooth tarmac, then you can sit tight on the wheel, but if you're riding on surfaces like this one, potholes or rough terrain, you're going to have to give a bit more space, because they might change the pace, meaning you can then adjust your position.
Also, during bad weather, rain and high wind, pay attention to gusts throwing a rider off their line, and also road spray making it harder to visually see where you need to position yourself. In these moments, stay particularly aware. Part of holding the wheel is also about being confident in the skills of those you're riding with. So if you are just starting to master this and ride with others, I think this is one that you really need to practice with more experienced cyclists. And they really need to make sure that they're communicating with you clearly, either verbally or with hand signals, so that you behind them know exactly what they're planning to do on their bikes. Use hand signals to warn of potholes, turning, a slowing down of pace, you're getting out of the saddle, or are about to stop.
As the rider in front, I'm looking as far as I can ahead and scanning the road, and then I'm going to communicate really clearly to the rider behind, whether that's a signal or it's vocal, like pothole!
Basically, if you're going to stop, you want to really make sure the rider behind knows exactly what you're going to do. Otherwise, they're going to go straight into the back of you. Think of this as a cycling equivalent, an emergency stop. As your confidence increases, there are some expert tips that you can use to improve your skills. The main one is crosswinds, when the wind is blowing in from the side of the road. Here, it's actually better to sit on the side of the rider, right up to their hip, where you get more shelter than being directly behind them.
Yeah, you're not actually holding the wheel, you're more sitting at a diagonal position and sheltering yourself from the wind. Key things to remember here is make sure you've got enough space from the rider then to the side of the road. You may have to ask the rider to move over a little bit.
In normal circumstances, when the wind isn't blowing from the side and your confidence is improving, your skills getting better, you want to make sure you're trying to get as close as possible to that wheel ahead. It's here where you're going to get the most benefit, and also still practice trying to tuck in and get your body out of the wind too, because this, once you get used to it, is really where you save a whole heap of energy. You'll be faster, have way more fun, and long rides become a hell of a lot easier.
So there you have it, a few top tips to help you save more energy when riding with others and enjoy it more. Trust me, you're gonna love it.
Yeah, it makes rides so much easier when you can get on that wheel and stay there. But don't be a wheel sucker and share the workload around with your buddies.
Yeah, and we'll see you in the next video. Hit that thumbs up button, leave us a comment if you enjoyed this video. Bye.